Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Footprints. My name is Anthony Davis. I'm your host. I'm an educator at BHS, that's Beverly High School, for those folks who don't know. And joining me today on the program is a woman who is the creator of Haverhill's Woofstock. Not Woodstock, ladies and gentlemen. Woof, as in bark, bark, dog, dog. This would be Cyndie Morgan. And Cyndie is the creator of this whole thing, but she's got a lot of other stuff going on too we're going to talk about. She's someone whose energy and heart have become really a beloved part of Haverhill. And she's like a creative, like I said, of Woofstock, a dog-friendly festival that's now equal parts Woodstock, like regular Woodstock, right? And also community block party and tail wagging good time, ladies and gentlemen, I think that we're going to have there. Please, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, Cyndie Morgan, the visionary behind one of the happiest days of the year for dog lovers all across Merrimack Valley. All right? Cyndie, thanks for being here today.
Thank you so much, Tony, for having me.
Well,
and Mr. Nigel is here, too, as a little special guest.
Yes, we love to have Nigel aboard. And Nigel is the reason why Woofstock exists. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. But before we begin, tell me, Cyndie, something about yourself that nobody knows. Could be kind of quirky, could be kind of funny, you know what I mean?
Ooh.
Something that nobody knows.
Nobody knows. Let's see. So I actually was picked to be in a magic act with David Copperfield.
Oh, that's kind of cool. Now, how did that come about?
So they threw two huge balls in the audience. Whoever caught the balls became part of the show.
Okay.
And, of course, I caught the ball.
Of course.
And you go backstage and you meet David Copperfield, and he tells you what's exactly going to happen in the magic trick.
That's pretty
He tells
cool.
you exactly how it's going to go.
That's awesome.
And then he swears you to secrecy.
Yeah, because you can't reveal the trick, right?
Correct, and I've
Even
never
though you
never
want to.
told anybody. Nope.
Well, that's pretty cool. That's something that nobody knows. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you know that she was with David Copperfield. How about that? Let's start at the beginning, okay? What sparked the idea for Woofstock to begin with? What sparked that idea?
So how Woofstock began was, so when I actually met Nigel, who's 8 years old right now, but when I met him at 2 weeks old, at that meeting, I actually got what you would pretty much call a download, a message in my head saying, you and I are going to do magical things together. I need your thumbs, and you're going to use me as the catalyst for spreading happiness.
I love it.
And I started social media account for Nigel at that time, not knowing where I was going with that. And through working with social media all the time and seeing Instagram events, I said, everybody's doing these dog events, and we have none here in the city of Haverhill.
Wow.
And so an opportunity came along where I could present to a community visioning event with Team Haverhill.
Okay.
And after 3 years of sitting on that idea, I said, it's time to release it. So that was 2024.
Oh, my.
But originally it was Bark in the Park.
Oh, I like that.
And I envisioned it at this local park in town, but something magical happened at that meeting. A woman that owned a farm was there and said, I'd love to have it on my property. And when I went there to see her property, it was this beautiful farm, and I said, Woodstock brought the people, Woofstock will bring the dogs.
Oh.
And it happened on a farm, so it just felt right, so I changed it.
I love that. That is really kind of cool. So now, when you first started the idea, right, you first had this idea about it, what kind of reactions did you initially get from people? Were they kind of like excited, confused, like what is going on with this thing?
Most people were excited.
Okay.
It was definitely a gap in the city that was missing. And, pet people, regardless of what your pet is, they are all in when it comes to pets. So they were all in. They were like, let's see how you can make this happen. We're excited for it.
I love it. I love it. So as I was going to tell you earlier, I have a pet. So here's the deal. My wife used to be a cat person. And my daughter had Shih Tzu puppies. She had purebred Shih Tzu puppies. And my wife's like, I'm a cat person, and our cat passed away, so she didn't want to get another pet, all that stuff, right? So when my daughter had the litter, I said, let's go over and just look at the puppies. We don't have to take one. We don't have to do anything. We're just going to go over and look at the puppies, right? So we go over and look at the puppies. They're all running around and stuff, and they're gravitating toward her. But there was this one dog that stayed with her. And he was the firstborn. He didn't have a tail. And he moved like a bear, right? Really like a bear. So we were hanging out, and she's like, "Oh, I really like this one puppy." I'm like, "Yeah, honey, but you said you're not really a dog person and any of that stuff." And lo and behold, a couple of days later, she's like, "We got to have Bear." Oh. So we ended up going back to get him. So we got Bear, and then my son moved back in.
And that name stuck.
It stuck because he moves like a bear. He kind of waddles a little bit. He's got no tail, and then my son moved in with his dog. He also got a dog from that litter, Zuko, and then my daughter had like an owner lined up for the other puppy, Kendrick, but Kendrick Lamar, by the way, and no one took Kendrick, so we ended up with Zuko at my house, Bear at my house, and Kendrick at my house, which was kind of cool. So I have 3 Shih Tzu puppies. Well, they're not even puppies now; they're dogs because they're more than a year old. But they're all at my house, hanging out, having a good time. My wife is in her element now. She's loving it.
She's come to the other side.
Oh yeah. She's come to the puppy side. We love it. So now tell me about the early days, like finding vendors and getting things all set up, maybe getting the city on board, kind of convincing people and sponsors that a dog festival is going to really fly there.
Yeah, so what happens is when you present at Team Haverhill, they're like, we love the idea. It's a community event. And the public comes, and they kind of vote on what the idea is.
Okay.
And then they go, make it happen.
Okay.
Which means you got to get permits.
Okay.
So that was not my wheelhouse. My wheelhouse. I'm not an event planner.
Right.
But I said, I'm very organized. So I said, I know I can make this happen. And so I got in touch with a lot of Nigel's contacts. So Nigel, because he was on Instagram, we were collaborating with businesses. I had a lot of connections in the dog world. So I contacted everybody I knew and said, hey, I'm having this dog event. If you want to come and be part of it, all vendors can come for free. We didn't charge a fee because we wanted to see what we were going to come up with. The community was invited for free. It wasn't a paying event. It was a heart-centered event. And then I got all the components in place, and my components were, I wanted the animal control officer there.
Okay.
I wanted to have dog rescue there. I wanted to have the Essex County Sheriff's Office there doing dog demonstrations.
All right.
And I just contacted them, and every single person couldn't be more happy than to jump on board.
How about that? So that's when you know something is really meant to be, right?
Absolutely.
So when you contact those folks, and they're like, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to do that. Let's do that. Let's have that, happen. And I love it when a plan comes together like that because everybody gets on board and they're all like, it's everything for the dogs.
They all believed in it. They all believed in it.
That's a beautiful thing. Now, every big event kind of has the behind the scenes information stuff going on, right? What's something that people don't see behind the chaos, the comedy, the caffeine, whatever it took? What don't they see?
I think the one thing I would talk about, actually there's 2 things I would talk about. One, I had to learn something that was called a deck. Everybody I would try to get sponsorship from would say, can you send me your deck?
Okay.
And a deck is nothing but a really fancy presentation saying, this is what my event's about. If it's your first year out, you're really convincing them to jump on board to your vision. So I said, well, I got to bring them into heart. We're going to keep this 300-year-old farm alive. We're going to bring people to the farm. We're going to bring community together. We're going to have music. We're going to have food. We're going to have dogs. We're going to have demos. We're going to have rescues.
Okay, all right.
And I can't tell you what the numbers are going to be, but if you believe with me, we can make this happen.
Wow.
So that's your first deck. So it becomes like a PowerPoint presentation.
Okay, all right.
And then the other behind the scenes is all the chaos of getting vendors that sign up and then last minute they can't come for, a family emergency or this, that, or the other thing, and you're scrambling with your wait list and trying to fill in the holes and finding out that, we don't have, like first year out, we didn't count people or dogs.
Wow.
Never even thought about it.
Right.
Then after year 2 comes in, they say, wow, I want to sponsor you. How many people came? And you're like, maybe 500 people, maybe 1,500 people.
Yeah, you're not sure.
Yeah, so year 2, we did click. And found out numbers. So that's the biggest thing behind the scenes is the constant managing people and making sure they're still on board. That's the biggest thing I felt.
Awesome. All right. So let's shift gears a little bit. Your parents,
Yep.
what did they do for a living, and how did they put those footprints of maybe doing something like this as an entrepreneur in your mind?
That's fascinating. So my dad worked at a local paper mill for 42 years.
Okay.
My mom was a stay-at-home mom most of my life until maybe I got into high school, and then she was doing assembly work at, which was Western Electric, then turned to Lucent, and
Okay.
the
Oh,
days.
yeah, of
But
course.
one thing with my parents was the biggest lesson for them was speaking for yourself, being confident enough to always speak your truth, and
Yeah.
feeling really good in your own skin.
For sure.
I was so much of a truth speaker that my mother would try to back me down a little bit. Like, we don't need to say all that.
You know what? I was that guy too. My parents did the same thing for me. It's like, well, wait a minute. That's too much information. Well,
Right.
but that's what it is. What are we talking about?
Yeah,
here? You know what I mean?
exactly.
So I know that deal. Believe me, I've been there.
Yeah.
So now, what's your best? Oh no, this turned out well type of moment that was kind of funny, like with Woofstock.
I don't know if this is going to answer you, but this is the thing that's coming to me. So I could envision the event. Every morning I would sit and use a few minutes for that. And when I envision, I don't just think about the moment, I think about everything on all senses. I hear people laughing, I smell the food, I hear the music. And the day when the arrival of the day had come,
Yeah.
everybody's like, is this what you expected? And I said, yes, welcome. You are now in my brain. This is exactly how I envisioned it. All day I heard that, like,
love
did
it.
you expect this? Yes, I really, really,
That's pretty
truly
cool.
did.
I like that.
And it was fun to see their face, seeing it unfold in front of them, like, wow, this is crazy what you came up with.
Well, you know what's interesting about that? I'm big into creative visualization, right? Just like kind of seeing it and then having it play out. I'm a basketball coach, so I get into that and I see that, and I can see like the success of the team or the success of a player.
Yeah.
And I understand that type of thinking, right? And some people don't get it. Like, it's like, well, what do you mean you see that? Well, I can visualize myself putting myself in that place, right?
Yep.
And in that time and in that period, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, that actually works. That actually clicked, right? And so I understand that thinking, that visualization of it, that it's coming together, and this is what I see. And most people don't have that same type of vision,
Exactly.
which I really love.
And it's funny because you only know what you know. So
Yeah.
when you see other people like lighten up over what your vision was, it's really, I don't know, I love it. It's
Yeah,
fun.
It's awesome.
It's fun.
Now, some events like just don't happen overnight, right? But they entertain and connect people, which is what you've been doing.
Yes.
Okay. Now, how has Woofstock sort of brought the Haverhill community even closer together with what they're doing?
Yeah, so I believe for me, Haverhill's Woofstock really highlighted this major gap that the city was missing. And as the community comes together, they want to do more for the community, but they also wanted to do more for that farm. So what happened during marketing for the event, I would say to Marlene, the farm owner, tell me more about your farm. Let's let the community get together about that.
Right.
And they ended up having the #1 apple from Topsville Fair since 2022.
That
Not
is
one
cool.
apple, but 3 different varieties.
Oh, wow.
With their third generation of farmers.
That is interesting.
And so I would tie in that, and then the community would be like, wow, hey, we went to Woofstock, but now we're buying all our produce from this local farm.
Right.
And that kind of connection, like, just totally lights me up. There's nothing better than that.
Love it. I love it. So connecting people in the community, being able to have these farmers do their thing,
Yep.
and able to actually provide things for those folks in the community is a really good thing. I love those footprints, ladies and gentlemen. They're really cool. Now, how do you balance the event so it's meaningful for both, not just the dogs, but also for their owners as well?
Yeah, so a lot of times people say, I don't have a dog. And I'll go, that's okay, because you can come and go listen to music. You can just have a meal. You can apple pick. You can pick your own flowers. You can just enjoy the beautiful scenery of the farm and sit there, and maybe you're thinking about rescuing a dog and you can go visit with the puppies, and maybe
Yeah.
you'll see a demonstration. And
Absolutely.
so I always try to, like, I had one lady come up to me and she goes, well, I have a cat. Will you be having a meow stock? I said, I I don't think that's good.
How
Cats
do you
don't
think?
do well like
No,
that. But
they
I
do
said,
not.
your cat's more than welcome if you. Everybody's welcome to Woofstock if you want to come into that.
Definitely. I love that. That's funny. So now for the local shelters and small businesses that are there, how has Woofstock sort of opened the door or raised awareness for them?
So Sweet Paws Rescue is the one and only that I work with. They've been moving and grooving in their own right. So what happens is when you invite a rescue like that into your own event, something magical happens.
Yes.
You really find out about all the support they have as volunteers because they're a complete foster-based rescue. So that means that there's no physical location for these dogs that are being put up for adoption that need to be rescued. They're not sitting in a facility. They're in homes with all these fosters. So all these fosters come. And for me, I personally, that first year, learned so much because you think you know about rescue, but you don't know
You don't
about
really
rescue.
know, yeah.
And their volunteer base is off the charts, so welcoming, so open, so everything. And so
inclusive.
inside of my event became this layer of another event because they do all their own fundraising.
Yeah, how about
and
that?
everybody comes together to help for that. And if they're there, just there to be with their dog, they also find out about the farm and Sweet Paws. So I look at it like layers of footprints because my first initial is getting them onto the farm to come to
Right.
the event.
How about that?
But then they learn all these other things, and it's just,
How cool is that?
it's amazing.
See, Nigel, let's look what you manifested, right?
Yeah.
You manifested Woofstock. How about that? Glad to have you here. Now, let's talk a little bit about the philosophy of this guy named Mike Dooley. So, Mike Dooley's core teaching is accessible and practical application of something called the law of attraction.
Right.
I'm big on that, right? The law of attraction. So I'm going to tell you really quickly. 2008, I was a basketball coach, and I was like coaching I live in Gloucester, so I was coaching in the Gloucester area. But I kept manifesting to myself, I want to work for the Boston Celtics. How do I do this? I kept thinking about it a lot. And the more I thought about it, I was like, what steps do I need to take? Just guide me. So unbeknownst to me, I took a job at Austin Prep, and I was the 8th grade boys basketball coach there. And the varsity basketball coach there happened to be one of the directors for the Boston Celtics summer camps. I didn't know that. But I'm there, and I'm coaching, and one day he comes to me and says, hey, a couple of our coaches are not coming back for the summer. Do you think you want to coach for the Celtics? I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. Of course. Absolutely. And that was in 2008 when they won the championship. And I had done that up until I got my hip replaced just before COVID. And the thing is, manifestation and the law of attraction, I think, is huge. So tell me a little bit about Mike Dooley and what he means to you with that.
So Mike Dooley, I was introduced to him in 2010. I was going through a very big life event. I was going through a divorce.
Okay.
And somewhere in an email, he came across, and he does this thing called Notes from the Universe. And Mike himself writes these emails basically from the universe telling you about your awesomeness. Like, hey, I've been waiting for you. I'm behind I'm the puppeteer behind you, but you're doing it all. And I was so impressed with this thinking, I started looking into it more.
Right.
And Mike Dooley believes that thoughts become things, exactly what you just said.
100%.
Because what happens is when you think any thought on negative side or the positive side, you now have made your frequency attract whatever you are thinking.
I believe
So if you're
that.
constantly thinking, I never do anything right, your energy emitting out is attracting it. That is the laws of attraction.
No
It
question.
is, this isn't spiritual woo-woo, it's just scientific based.
It's true.
If you're thinking high things about yourself, in your example, I love that. I want to work with the Celtics.
Yeah.
Know how. Same with Woofstock. Know
Yeah.
how, no end game.
Yeah.
The thread, if you follow it, the energy brings you and puts in place where you need to be. And so was it a coincidence that man was there? No, it was not.
No, exactly. And that's the law of attraction.
Absolutely.
And it's funny, so some people don't believe in that law, but I do
Yep.
a lot. And I live my life by that law. You know what I mean? Like, I try to visualize things that I want to do, or I'll speak things into existence, as they say.
Yes.
And for instance, with this podcast, who knew I was going to be doing this? I did. I knew eventually I was going to be doing this because I had thought to myself, man, I want to do a podcast. How am I going to be able to do that? And I was teaching a leadership class a couple years ago, and lo and behold, the assignment I gave to the kids led to this podcast. So here we are.
Here we
you
are.
know, and right here with Footprints. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, if you like our content, please subscribe to BevCam. Don't forget we're also on Apple Podcasts and also on Spotify as well. All right. Let's get back to these questions, because I got a lot of stuff I want to talk about, right? So now, having said that about the community and connection, what about the impact of personal growth for yourself, right? So what's changed the most about Woofstock over the years as it's grown?
I'd like to take that back a few steps, because before Woofstock, I have a series that I talk about called When Cyndie Met Nigel.
Ah, yes, get into that.
Because when Cyndie met Nigel at 2 weeks old, that was my first step into my growth. Nigel was just the catalyst in front of it.
Yeah.
And I was just starting to really get into the laws of attraction with Mike Dooley. That was 2010. 7 years later, Nigel came along. That was 2017. 2018, I'm now doing social media for Nigel, but learning about myself behind the scenes, learning skills, social media managing.
Definitely.
And collaborating. And I wanted Nigel just to be maybe 100 followers with maybe a cute bow tie. And then he ended up being... You know, his growth was really, you know, as I say it, his good looks and my thumbs. You know, together we were, you know, invincible.
Right.
And the growth all the way up to Woofstock was really with me pinging along. My confidence kept growing. So 3 years I sat on that idea for Bark in the Park.
Wow.
3 years because I just wasn't ready.
Right.
I said, I'm just not ready. I don't want to put myself out there.
Right.
All my limited beliefs, whatever they were at the time, was holding myself back. And then when the time came for Woofstock, I had at that time went from social media managing to a digital creator to co-leading on a women's business league. I was growing in behind Nigel, but still really not showing myself. It was always, that account was made to be just a dog. Just a dog. That was it. Just spreading happiness.
Yep.
And then we got validation by Facebook, and Instagram has an account called Power Positivity. And they reached out to us and said, we see what you're doing. And that was in 2022.
Right.
So all these validations, more confidence was happening way behind the scenes, a personal struggle with myself to say, hey, it's okay to put yourself out there. It's okay. You know, you can peek out behind Nigel every once in a while.
100%.
And so that's why I always say when Cyndie met Nigel, Cyndie found herself.
Yeah.
And here we are 8 years later.
I love it. Kind of like the Wizard of Oz, peeking behind the curtain, right? Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain, right? This is the real seal right here. This is the real scene, right? I love it.
Right.
I love it. Now, what has Woofstock taught you about leadership, patience, and kind of rolling with life's leash when it gets tangled up a little bit, right?
Woofstock has to be, for leadership for me, it has to start with heart. If there is no heart in the project, I personally don't want to be part of that. So for me, because I'm leading with heart, when I meet with everybody, they feel that heart, they feel that energy, they too want to be part of the community.
Yeah.
I tell every person that signs up for the year, we're all working together. It's not me leading and instructing you.
Right.
It's us together working to make this event be the best event.
That's a beautiful thing. We love that.
And I can't do it without them. So I really honor that. So for me, it's respect. It's true love of what I'm doing and true love of the community. I want the outcome to be, I want that to be heartfelt throughout.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'll be honest. Bringing a community together is one of the hardest things you could ever do. And for you to be able to do it through your dog, Nigel, is like, it's like amazing because now you're bringing all these other people together who have pets as well.
Yes.
Who you generally would never interact with.
Absolutely.
Right? So creating something that everybody can benefit from is a beautiful thing. I love those footprints.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
I really do. Now, if your dog could describe, if Nigel could describe Woofstock in one sentence, what would Nigel say?
One word?
One word.
Ooh. Exciting.
Exciting, indeed. Kind of like the Love Boat. Love, exciting and new, right? Come
Yeah.
aboard.
Yeah.
Woofstock's waiting for you.
I do have a
How about
second
that,
word,
right?
a sniffari.
Okay.
It's a sniffari.
It's
right?
sniffari. Oh, yeah, I got that. I like that.
Dogs are sniffing all over the
Yes,
place that
indeed.
day.
I love it. I love it. Now, what's next for Woofstock? Like any dream guests or performers or any type of plans to expand? What do you got going on?
So year 3, I keep visualizing. Nigel did a collaboration with a company called Swift Paws.
Ooh,
And Swift Paws made a lure course.
okay.
And think of 4 plastic box components that have a string going through them.
Okay.
And there's a little flag to it. And it's a chase. It's a game of chase.
All right.
And I own it. But I would love to get enough funds to get them to come up here and demonstrate it. They're in Florida.
Wow.
I've spoken to them.
Okay.
And I just got to come up with the funds. And when the timing is right, the funds will be here.
Of course. Of
And
course.
we
You
will have
manifest it.
Swift
That's all the
Paws,
law of
right, and
attraction.
Swift Paws
Just
will
keep
be
putting
here.
it out there.
Yes.
It's actually going to happen.
Yes.
Believe me. Right? The
Yes.
wheels are in motion, ladies and gentlemen. Trust me.
Yes. Yes.
Now, if another city calls you and said, hey, listen, we want to have Woofstock here, or, we want to bring it or try something here, what advice would you give them to sort of do that?
That actually just kind of happened to me recently. And it's a really interesting thing that happens when that happens. You're very heart-centered and you want to give them, you want to dump out everything that you've worked on. But there's a lot of heart and soul and blueprint, your own blueprint,
Yeah.
not a footprint, your blueprint of your
yeah,
event.
No doubt.
So the guidance is, first, look within your community. What dog-centered people do you have in your community?
Yeah.
Get them together. Have that conversation. How do we envision this?
Right.
How do we see it?
Right.
Do we need permits? You have to kind of go through that part.
Yeah, definitely.
But I think number one step, if you want to have a dog event in your own town, is what resources do we have right here? Like most of my vendors, I tried to start with local vendors from Haverhill, and then, of course, it's spread out to other towns because Haverhill's not going to have every person I need. But I tried to keep it, hey, a little homage to,
Yeah.
let's start here. Charity starts at home, and
Definitely.
then let's trickle it out.
Without a doubt. I agree with that 100%. So now ultimately thinking about Woofstock, what kind of footprint or paw print, right, do you hope Woofstock would leave on the community and on Haverhill itself?
I really do envision it to be a legacy event, and I forever would love to see it stay at the farm. And the paw print I want to be there is pets mean so much to people. They really, truly offer people livelihood.
Yes.
Service dogs, therapy dogs,
Yeah.
just companionship.
Companionship. That's huge.
And even the farmer, they have their working dogs there on the farm. So I really want people to, if this was it for me today, that's what I would want is, wow.
Okay.
That event really made us realize how important our pets are to us.
I love it. I'll tell you one thing, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it here first. Being able to have a connection with a pet is nothing like that in life. I mean, to be able to, they become part of your family. They are your family. And you manifest so many things with them and do so many things with them that you don't even realize how much they're affecting you and how much you're affecting them. But it's a beautiful synergistic relationship between a pet owner and their pet. Thanks for being here, Nigel. We love it. So now, let's talk a little bit about some rapid fire questions that I have. So
okay.
the first thing that comes to mind, I want you to just say the very first thing that comes to mind.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see here. Morning walk or midnight zoomies?
Ooh, morning walk.
Morning walk. Okay. All right. I like that. All right. How about this? Golden retriever energy or Chihuahua confidence?
Ooh. Golden retriever energy.
Okay. All right. I like that. How about this? Beast Festival snack. Oh, I'm sorry. Best festival snack, excuse me. Or kettle corn or bacon strips. Which is it?
Ooh.
Which would it be? Your best festival snack. Kettle corn or bacon strips?
Kettle corn.
I don't know. I'm partial to
Yeah.
bacon. I like the bacon. Anything's good with bacon, right? Favorite dog celebrity, or favorite celebrity dog, I should say. Lassie, Scooby-Doo, or Beethoven?
Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo, indeed.
Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo. Love Scooby-Doo. Oh, man, all right, just quickly now. I'm off the rails here.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, Scooby-Doo was the biggest thing ever. Like, that cartoon was amazing. Saturday morning cartoons,
Yep.
you're watching Scooby-Doo. We're watching, like, Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck. We're watching, like, Popeye. I'm watching all these things. Underdog. Now I'm dating myself.
Underdog, yes.
Right?
How about Davy
all
and
these things.
Goliath?
Davy and Goliath, right? So those things were really huge. And I love the fact that, you know, we can talk about these things and it'll be nostalgic, right?
Yep.
But love it. My favorite celebrity dog, definitely Scooby-Doo. All right. Dream guest performer at Woofstock would be?
Oh, that's a great question. I'm not sure.
Maybe you can get David Copperfield to come back. Just perform a couple of magic tricks, right? Disappear a few dogs, maybe bring some dogs in, back, whatever. You never know. But that would be cool, just to get some dream, whoever it would be, whatever performer it would be.
I think Sylvester Stallone is a huge dog person. He would be fun to have there.
Oh, that'd be kind of cool, yeah.
That'd be cool.
Adrian, yeah. That'd be awesome, actually, you know? Definitely. Obviously, favorite dog breed would be?
Well, you know, I love my Papillon, but I also have a Chorky. He's
Oh, you
half
do?
Chihuahua, half Yorkie, little Ollie.
Is that Ollie?
That's Ollie.
Okay, all
yeah,
right, all
Ollie's
right.
2. He's
All right.
he's very different than Nigel. Nigel, I would describe as a distinguished gentleman. And my Ollie is pretty much Spicoli.
Okay, I like that, yeah. He's like, hey, dude.
He's a dude.
Yeah, hey, dude, let me have some pizza in the classroom,
Exactly.
right? That kind of guy. All right, leash or on the leash or off the leash? What are you thinking?
Off the leash energy, but got to be on the leash.
Okay, I like that. I like that. Best dog name you've ever heard?
Oh. I like names. I like dog names that are people's, like as silly as just Frank. That always just cracks me up. I don't know
Okay.
why. Like, this is just Frank. It's like, okay, cool.
I like that. All right, let's see. Your go-to stress reliever. What do you do when you need to recenter yourself?
I meditate.
Meditation is awesome. Trust me.
I meditate.
I do as well. Yeah, that's where you get your visualization from. You kind of create your own environment, right?
Yes.
And you create your own reality,
Yep.
right? And
Give
so
myself a timeout.
yeah, you got to do that. You have to. Cyndie, listen, it's important to take that me time. You
Yep.
need that, right?
Yep.
I think we all need that. It's really important. All right, what's Nigel's favorite treat?
Cheese.
Cheese. Yeah, man, my dog loves cheese as well.
In the Instagram world, that's called cheese tax.
Oh, no doubt.
You got to pay the cheese
You got to
tax.
cheese? No question about that. No question. Now, best time of year in Haverhill, what do you think?
Fall time.
Fall.
Yep.
Okay, and because?
It's beautiful out, and it's Woofstock
And
season.
it's Woofstock season. That is right. All right. So now finish this sentence. Life is better when?
You have a dog beside you.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Whoa, my goodness, ladies and gentlemen. The clock on the wall says we got to go. I hate when that happens. And again, if you like our content, please subscribe to BevCam. And we're on Apple Podcasts as well as Spotify. Okay. And if you want to be a guest, go to www.footprintsimpact.com, fill out the guest intake form, and come sit here and tell us your story. We just learned a little bit about Cyndie Morgan and what she's into, right? And what she's doing with her life, right? Cyndie is a mindset possibilities coach, which we didn't really mention, but we should have. And she's also certified an infinite possibility trainer and event visionary, which we talked a little bit about. And she's what I call a happiness activator.
Yes.
Right? That's what I would call. All right? And that's her core work. And ladies and gentlemen, it was great having Cyndie Morgan join us today here on Footprints. And I learned a heck of a lot about Woofstock. Hopefully you did too. And ladies and gentlemen, I always say to you, and I ask you this question, who left a footprint on you? And more importantly, what are you going to do with it? I'll see you next time. Thanks for joining us. Bye-bye.